scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at Hardees.com today.
Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. You're listening to Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 1013. The ESPN Cleveland 1013 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
Mix 1041 and Honda of Cleveland are teaming up to give one deserving teacher in our local area the chance to win a 2025 Honda Civic LX. Nominate your favorite teacher at mymix1041.com or on the Mix 1041 app.
Aubrey's Real Comfort, Real Food, Real Good, making it a little more special with in-house fresh ingredients. Today's specials are prime rib all day long. Aubrey's Cleveland, Real Comfort, Real Food, Real Good.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Excited to be here. Once again, I'm Andy Morris along with Jim Gum and Jacob Mason. We're live once again at Walker Valley High School as Jacob and I are on the call tonight for the Walker Valley Chattanooga Central football game. And Jim's going to be not rushing to Tullahoma this week, right, Jim?
No, I'm not going to be rushing to Tullahoma or to back to the studios either way. But I tell you what, it's a gorgeous day. You know, they always call these days Chamber of Commerce days. This is when, if you're having someone from outside of the area come visit your city, you want it to be a day like this. It's called a Chamber of Commerce days. That's what we got out here at
Perfect
Walker
weather.
Valley.
Perfect weather, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Not really a whole lot of clouds in the sky. Just a nice, easy. I like to think of easy like Sunday morning. It's kind of one of those days. Just beautiful outside. Got a nice little breeze going on. But really, I mean, the countdown is on, boys.
I was about to say, you're jumping to Sunday morning when Saturday morning sounds like you've got your work cut out for yourself as you make the trip up to Knoxville.
Yeah, making the trip up to Knoxville, getting up pretty early. Gonna go and visit the city of Knoxville, which I know I've got some haters. Not a huge fan when it comes to college town.
Listen, it's not the capital city for a reason anymore. It's a Nashville. They moved it. You know, it used to be the capital of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. They moved it to Nashville. That's all I'm saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
But with that being said, one of the best game day environments that you can ask for.
There's no doubt.
So what time are you heading up there? Just curious.
I'm probably leaving about like 7:30 or 8.
There you go.
And then getting up there early. Going to go see some friends. And then I like to get to the stadium kind of early, not to like watch warm-ups or anything, but just so I'm not stuck in those lines.
I agree, man.
I like missing football that I've paid for is like a crime.
Agreed.
It's a crime.
Agreed.
Like you pay for the experience, and if you're going to stand in line and miss it just because you were outside the stadium, messing around or you didn't account for this or that, I'm going to try to get up there early.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the game, you don't want to miss out on much of anything. Like, I enjoy getting there for warm-ups. I like seeing the band march into the stadium and do their thing. Like, the whole experience, just the whole atmosphere of a college football game is so much fun to me. I like soaking every bit of it in. But my question to you, Jacob, is I know that – so you're going with your brother, going with Patrick. Are you guys going to hit up like a barbecue joint or anything, or are you going to tailgate? Because, listen, if you guys found some nachos up there, that would be classic Patrick.
That would be classic Patrick. But no, we're probably just going to get breakfast like a Hardees combo. Our good friends at Hardees.
They gave a few of those away this week, didn't they, Jim?
Sure did.
There's nothing better to me on a Saturday morning than a gravy biscuit with a cherry Coke, and if I'm really splurging,
Wait a minute. Cherry Coke?
I love a cherry Coke.
With for breakfast?
Wait, did you just say heart attack?
No, cherry Coke and a gravy biscuit, man. That's,
Hey, and if-
that's
if
a
I'm-
combination don't jive with me.
If I'm feeling like extra spicy, I'll even add a bacon, egg, and cheese and dip it in the gravy that I've got left over.
I can deal with
That's
that.
speaking my language a little bit. I'd prefer a black coffee to go along with it, though.
Or a nice tall glass of milk. I'm sorry, man. That's what I like when I eat a biscuit and gravy.
But then after that, we're going to a few tailgates. Got some buddies up there tailgating, and so we're going to stop by a few of those and, just kind of enjoy the day. I've already got the outfit laid out. I went home and got that ready to go so I can just wake up and hop in the car. Got the flags out.
You going red or black?
Black.
Black, okay.
With them going checkerboard, I think the red kind of washes into the orange a little bit. I want to stand out. I want to be.
I like it.
I want them to know that there is a dog fan in enemy territory.
Right in the middle of that orange section you're going to be sitting in, right?
Yep. So you said red dot. It's now a little black dot right there in the middle of that orange section. Again, not telling y'all where because I don't want any mustard bottles or golf balls or anything flying down towards where I'm sitting. But no, I'm excited, man. Tennessee fans genuinely, I feel about this way. Tennessee fans are some of the best. They're not the best to encounter with on game day, but when you talk about a fan base that loves their team, there's really not very many teams that can say they stack up to that.
The pageantry of college football in Knoxville on a Saturday, there really is not a lot that match up to that.
Oh, you're right. It's a great atmosphere. And listen, every fan base has their small percentage of idiots that make it, I guess, give every fan base a bad reputation. But generally, most fan bases are pretty respectful, and they'll give you they'll invite you over to their tailgate in their areas and cornhole and whatever. They'll invite you over. That's what most fan bases do. But every now and then you get one that's got a little bit too much juice in them. I'll just leave it at that.
A little man soda.
They get a little bit obnoxious. And some of these people will start drinking early in the morning.
I call it swing juice. As a golfer, get you a little loose, little swing juice. So, once the swing juice starts flowing,
man.
you just never know what's going to happen. So, I'm super excited. I'm stopping by a Tennessee tailgate. I may stop by a Georgia tailgate. Who knows? We'll see. But like you said, Tennessee fans are normally pretty welcoming. It's not like going to Athens where you get barked at all the time. So at least I'll be barking at other dogs.
Of course you will.
But I won't bark at any Tennessee fans.
Have you seen the commercial where the guy's like in a conference room at his office meeting and his boss has the Georgia Bulldog mud? He goes,
I've
"Hey,
seen it.
go Dogs!" And she's like looking at him like, "You idiot! Like, stop!"
Yeah, I've seen that.
Such a good commercial. But, of course, we're talking about the Tennessee-Georgia matchup this Saturday up there at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The number 15 Volunteers taking on Kirby Smart's number 3 Georgia Bulldogs at Neyland Stadium. Pre-game coverage is going to be on Mix 104.1 at 1 p.m. for you Tennessee Vol fans with kickoff at 3:30 right there on Mix 104.1. And for all the Bulldog listeners out there, you'll be able to get on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 right here.
That's right.
Same schedule, 1 o'clock pregame, 3:30 kickoff for the Bulldog fans over there on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. So really excited about that game tomorrow. I want to dive into it a little bit, as a matter of fact. And we were just talking before we went on air. I feel like we've learned a lot about Joey Aguilar as a quarterback for Tennessee in that offense. And I think they're a lot further along offensively than a lot of people would have predicted or did predict coming into the season. At the same time, I think my expectations for Georgia's offense were so high because Gunnar Stockton, again, has some snaps. He's got some experience, but it's still a small amount in comparison of the guys you were rolling out at quarterback before that. Carson Beck and Stetson Bennett, those guys logged a lot of snaps for Georgia. We really don't know what the Georgia offense is capable of. We've not seen it yet. So I came in with this preconceived notion, this high standard of expectations for Georgia's offense, and this week as we're making our picks and talking about it, I've kind of said, wait a minute, I don't know who they are yet. And that Austin Peay score kind of, look, they controlled the game, and Austin Peay's an athletic team, but that kind of made me pump the brakes a little bit on being overconfident on Georgia.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I saw the score against Marshall, 45-7, I was like, okay, that's pretty much what I expected. honestly, when I saw Austin Peay on the schedule, and I know that Austin Peay did beat MTSU the week before, I still expected a 63-3 top final score. And when I saw, there was only 28-6, I'm like, that kind of lowered my thoughts about him. But I did say this. I think the weather delay probably had something to do with it. I didn't watch that game, okay? I just didn't. I saw the highlights. But I've really thought that, I thought, well, I'm going to give Georgia the benefit of the doubt because the weather delay. Listen, I think it affected Georgia against them. I think it avoided Clemson when they played. Neither one of those teams were offensively impressive, but there was a weather delay in both those venues. And I'm like, okay, I think there may be something to that. Maybe I'm just trying to find excuses for Georgia. I still know this much. Defensively, Georgia's going to be maybe the best defense that Tennessee faces the entire 2025
I 100% agree with that statement. I think in order for Georgia to win this game, I think they're going to play some lights-out defense. That is the standard at Georgia right now defensively. But, Jacob, of course, you're our resident Bulldog. You obviously were watching that Austin Peay game. Going off of what Jim said, do you feel like there was an effect from that weather delay? Do you feel like it kind of threw off maybe some timing or some motivation?
It was raining. It was wet and rainy, too.
Well, I think more so they moved that game up to try to get it in, and I think Georgia was just trying to run out the clock. Gunnar Stockton did throw the ball 34 times, but with that being said, it was screen pass. It was just basically extending the run.
No high-risk throws.
He took one real deep shot that I truly remember. That I truly remember watching. He didn't hit it, but there wasn't a whole lot to the offense that day other than our offensive line is banged up. I want to try to get out of this the fastest and the best way we possibly can so that we don't have to play in weather. But, I look at these two quarterbacks, and obviously the flashy throws are there for Aguilar. I think the downfield throws are there. But then I look at their stats. Aguilar's sitting through two games at 5.16. Gunnar Stockton sitting with 4.20, I think. Aguilar's for 5 touchdowns. At the end of the day, I don't know that either team can truly say they know enough about their quarterback. Joey Aguilar hasn't been put in a position that he's going to be rushed and have to make throws with hands in his face.
Or having to come from behind.
Yeah, or having to come from behind. And in the same breath, Gunnar Stockton hasn't had to do anything besides read option and throw a screen pass. And in the plays that he has, I don't think he's tried to take enough shots. So, to me, if Gunnar goes out there and he starts taking some risk and actually throwing the ball downfield, it's going to be one of those games. Can Tennessee's defense step up and make some big plays and cause Gunnar to be affected by it? And can Georgia bring pressure and really mess with Joey Aguilar? I think I've said it all week. I think it comes down to the defenses. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It could be. But I think it's going to come down to whose defense caused more havoc.
Yeah, I think there's two position groups that you really have to pay attention to in this game if you're a Tennessee Volunteer fan. It's your running backs. You've got 3 guys in the stable there that need to have a big day for your offense to be successful. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's the corners. We know Jermod McCoy's out. We know that they're down.
That's
a couple guys.
That's their Achilles heel, in my opinion, is that DB.
So they're going to need a Hood to step up. They're going to need a Boo Carter to step up and have a big day, which we're hearing that Boo Carter might be used offensively. We know he's going to get used as a return man in special teams. So you're putting a lot of pressure on that defensive secondary of Tennessee. Those are the two position groups, running backs and corners for Tennessee, that I'm a little concerned about in this game.
Fairly or unfairly, and I do this, and I'm guilty of it, and I don't know if you guys are like this too. When I saw that when Tennessee beat Syracuse, 45-26, I'm like, wow, that's an impressive win. And then when I saw Syracuse really, really struggle last week against UConn, and they won that game 27-20 at the end of the game.
Overtime.
I was like, I'm sitting there going, gosh, maybe Syracuse isn't as good as I thought.
So our guy Chad Smith had him running sprints after that game, by the way, too.
And so my mindset goes from impressive win in Atlanta in game 1 for the Vols to who did they really beat? How is this Syracuse team overrated? So I get that. My mind does that a lot. And I have this preconceived notion of what teams should and should not be. And when I see a team like that struggle, I'm like, well, maybe they weren't everything we thought they were. So maybe Tennessee should have beat them way more handily than they did. So there again, it's a whole new ball game. I mean, for crying out loud, we don't know if tomorrow's going to be a 13-10 final score or 43-40 final score. We don't know. We'll have to watch the game. I just know I'm excited. I do believe that it's going to be a very exciting football game. I don't see a blowout. If there is a blowout, I think it's Georgia blowing out Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee can blow out Georgia.
Well, since we're on the topic, let's go ahead and pick this game. Jim, you want to get it going?
I'm going with Tennessee 28-27, a 1-point victory at Neyland Stadium. I'm going with the Vols.
Jacob?
Georgia by 10.
Georgia by 10.
Yeah.
High scoring, low scoring?
I'm going to say it's like a 17 to, I guess that doesn't make sense. I think it's going to be like a 17-28 game, so maybe
11 points.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be in that realm of within a field goal for a while, and then Georgia breaks loose late, just kind of like they did last year in Athens. To me, schematically, you look at Tennessee, they want to spread you out wide. They want to have a light box. If they can run the ball on our 5 or 6, Georgia's in for a tough day. If they can't, then I think you see Tennessee probably win that ball game. But what I know is what I know, and Georgia likes to operate in light boxes, and they do a pretty good job handling it. So my mind's going there. I'm going to say 28-17.
All right, so I see a common trend here amongst us a little bit as far as looking at the matchup and how this could play out. For me, I think the atmosphere, I think this Tennessee team is so hungry for this win. I really do. And I think at the end of the day, Gunnar Stockton is either going to win this game or lose this game for Georgia. I think Georgia's defense is going to play elite football on Saturday. I've got final score 17-14 in favor of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Okay, so you got a pretty low-scoring game.
You're not Joe Clatting it. You're not going to switch it up because Joe Klatt went Tennessee early in the week, and then he went back on it.
I've went back and forth all week, honestly, on this.
I have too.
And I'm so just because I feel like, and I know the sample size is what it is with Joey Aguilar, but I feel like they might just break a couple plays. They might make something happen just because he's a good dual threat guy, and I just don't know Gunnar Stockton yet.
My fear about Joey Aguilar is that he is prone to throw interceptions. That's my thing.
And he's playing.
Is he going to try to force it in against a defense?
Cream of the crop.
Yeah, that you just can't do that to, or you're going to pay the price. My thing about him is he going to be making throws, and everyone's going, what was he thinking? We don't know yet, and maybe he doesn't. But history shows that historically this guy has thrown a lot of picks in his career, so we'll see.
And I won't be surprised. I want to say this. I will not be surprised if Georgia wins this football game 31-14.
No, I wouldn't
be surprised at all because then Gunnar Stockton is who we thought he was going to be. Right now, I just feel like I don't know him enough, and I think you're going to put this game on the defenses. I think Georgia's going to play good defense, but I kind of have some faith in Joey Aguilar, and I think most Tennessee fans do too. So another game I want to talk about is number 12, Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Ooh.
This is another one. I'm going underdog with Georgia Tech in this game.
You know what? Clemson played such a sloppy game last week against Troy. Was it Troy?
Yes.
I just think Clemson bounces back and they find a way to win this game. I'm rooting for Georgia Tech. Don't get me wrong. I'm pulling for the Yellow Jackets. But I think last week was a wake-up call for Clemson. A lot of people were booing that team at their home stadium. And I think they're going to go on the road and they're going to take it out on the Texters. There again, I hope I'm wrong.
A little bit of a get-it-together moment, you're saying, for Clemson there, right? Jacob, who you got Georgia Tech, Clemson?
I'm trying to remember where it's at Georgia Tech.
It's at Georgia Tech. It's in
Tech.
Atlanta. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Golly bum.
I like the Yellow Jackets
here.
here.
Here's the thing, though. Clemson travels well, and anytime Georgia goes to Georgia Tech, it might as well be Athens South. I've taken Clemson on all my pick'ems just because, I know who they have at quarterback, and I know he is an elite player. He's an elite runner. I just trust the amount of depth that Clemson has returning.
The thing about Klubnik, he's been called elite ever since he got there, but he's never really played at the level I thought he would. Don't get me wrong.
Agreed.
He's a really solid quarterback. He's better than average. But, man, I was expecting so much out of this guy, and here he's been in the program for all these years, and I still think his best is yet to happen.
And see,
when's that going to happen?
What's hard for me is I think Georgia Tech has one of the best offense coordinators in the country.
I agree.
I genuinely do. I think he is the next hot hire for somebody that comes calling. What he does schematically just makes your head hurt. Like if you genuinely look at it and you genuinely think about it, like he shows something for 2 or 3 weeks straight, and then runs something that's complete opposite and has somebody fooled. So like
Buster Faulkner.
Yeah. Georgia Tech the past 2 weeks could look one way, and who rolls into Atlanta on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, whenever that game is. I don't know. That's going to be one of those games that comes down the wire for me. Like, I'm going to be up in Knoxville holding my phone in the air trying to get some signal and maybe picking that game.
They say they've improved the Wi-Fi at Neyland Stadium. You'll be the judge of that.
Well, I'll inside the stadium for sure, but, when you get in those clustered areas and like I just don't know how well my phone's going to get in or out. That has gotten better over the years. That's kind of one of those, like, old, like – I was in Knoxville or I was in Athens and I couldn't get a call out. Like, that's gotten better. But I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be a game that I may have to text y'all on Saturday and say I went with so-and-so.
So I got another one here, Wisconsin at Alabama, and I'll lead us off in this one. I think Alabama feels that they've got their back against the wall. They're feeling the pressure. They're hearing all the chirping that's going on. I think Alabama is going to absolutely steamroll Wisconsin.
Well, they're favored by 21.5
I think they're going to kill them.
Alabama's favored by 21, and Wisconsin has one of their top players, Edwards. He's out for tomorrow's game, so I think Alabama wins the game. I think Wisconsin's better than they were last year, but I don't think they're at the level to beat Alabama, especially in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I heard it's the quarterback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you've got to do that in a week, I think Alabama rolls through that one pretty easily.
USF has kind of sparked some conversation that they should get a little bit more respect in the polls. Coming in at number 18 this week, they're at Miami, number 5 Miami. And if they win this game, are they a top 10 team?
Oh, they will, but they're not going to win the game.
I don't think they're a top 10 team. But
if they beat Miami, they'll be voted in the top 10. But I don't think they're going to win the game.
I don't think they're a top 10 team. But if they win that game, I think they've bought themselves a lot of grace. Like, I think they could lose to a Memphis. I think they could lose, and then if they win the conference championship, they're in.
I tell you what, Golish is making a name for himself. He's going to be a hot commodity come the off season, y'all.
I'll be honest with you. The more I think about that Florida game, like it falls on Dan Mullen's shoulders. Like that loss, like USF is good. They're a good team. They're a high-quality team. But Dan Mullen just literally coached that game into the ground.
Dan Mullen's playing. He's coaching at UNLV.
That's why you're looking at me that way.
I was going to say UNLV, man.
Billy Napier.
Sunbelt Billy.
Yeah, Sunbelt Billy. He coached that game into the ground. Between his clock management, between his just the run calls, all of that. I think it was terrible. But interesting fact. Dan Mullen, that's why I've had it on the mind. I've talked about him today. He was 31-9 when he got fired from Florida.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Billy Bags is?
He's even almost.
20-20.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So in that game, I'm going Miami big. It's down there. You used to call it Pro Player. What is it, Hard Rock now?
It's Hard Rock Stadium now.
And the atmosphere when they played Notre Dame 2 weeks ago, what was one of the best Miami atmospheres I've seen since 2001.
And Miami's one of those. It's either a great atmosphere or it's crickets chirping.
And I think the Hurricanes are back. I think they're for real. I think they win that game big.
I think having Carson Beck is a big lift for that program.
So we'll go a little bit quicker on these guys. Vandy at number 11, South Carolina. I'm going Diego Pavia and the Commodores with the big upset.
I picked South Carolina at night at home.
I'm picking South Carolina because of the home team.
I'm just straight Diego Pavia guy.
Yeah.
I like Vandy this year, but hey, South Carolina at night's no joke.
So we were talking about Miami a second ago. Number 16 Texas A&M on the road at number 8 Notre Dame, who went down there to Miami and had some struggles in that first half. Does Texas A&M have a shot to go up to South Bend and win?
I think they got a shot, but I think Notre Dame with a week off after having to sit, they're hungry. Normally coming off of a loss when you go into those bye weeks, like you want to play so bad it's not even funny. You're ready to wash that taste out of your mouth, and it gives you a chance to look at what you did bad and do it better.
So are we going clean sweep Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Love's going to have a big game. I think Notre Dame wins this game by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, something to prove there with Jeremiah Love. Didn't get the touches that you would have thought in that Miami game. But But listen, playing Texas A&M, if it were at Texas A&M, what do they call it there? The
12th man?
Listen, Notre Dame has the real 12th man, and it's touchdown Jesus. So I'm going Notre Dame big. I knew Jim would like that one.
Do you got Florida LSU on there?
I do. So Florida at number 3 LSU.
I think LSU wins this game, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think Dan Muller, golly bum. I think Billy Baggs.
Sunbelt Billy.
I think Billy Bagg is
it's going to be a scrappy game.
I think he's coaching for his job, and I think you see them throw the book at LSU. It's going to be at night. It's going to be hostile. I think LSU wins that game, but don't be shocked if Florida comes out there and looks competent.
I'm going LSU, but I'm rooting for Florida to win this game.
No doubt.
I'm pulling for the Gators.
Me too. Keep Billy Baggs down there. I love that.
Hey, I don't know where Bo Borders is, but I'm going to go ahead and start doing the Gator chomp for him because I think another team. This is upset weekend for me. You know, every year there's that one weekend where there's so many upsets. I think this is it. I think the Gators go into LSU and expose Brian Kelly for the fraud that he is.
So you're taking Florida.
I'm going Gators.
Alive and well.
Florida Gators, but they can't play like they did last week. I think that was their wake-up call.
Yeah, you would hope.
So let's go on over to a little middle school report here. Middle school football last night, Lake Forest over Northview 36-6. Ocoee Middle over Sequoia 41-14. Colts still undefeated, Jacob.
Yep.
You were up here doing PA for the game.
Yeah, looked great. Colin Wilson had a big night, was 8 for 9 with a couple of touchdowns. Hezekiah Thomas is Hezekiah Thomas.
Yeah.
So.
Cleveland Middle over McMinn, JV and varsity. They won that JV game 20-6 and 32-8. So Cleveland Middle School, Coach Barber's got those guys over there pumping and rolling as well.
Yeah,
looking forward to a good matchup between Ocoee and Cleveland down the road.
That's a big win for them. And I saw the defense was playing really tough, had a scoop and score, to add to the madness. So I think Cleveland Middle started off with some really tough opponents, and now they're back on track in their winning ways.
So as we only have a few minutes left here, of course, Braves will not be on air tonight. They were off last night and taking on the Trash Can Bangers, the group formerly known as the Trash Can Bangers, the Houston Astros. Don't get Jacob started on that. He'll freak out.
I won't stop talking.
Yeah, but that will not be on air tonight because we've got wall-to-wall high school football coverage right here on our family of stations. Of course, right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, you're going to have Bradley Central. They're on the road at Farragut. Over on Mix 104.1, you're going to have Cleveland hosting Maryville over there at Benny Monroe Stadium. And, of course, Walker Valley, where we are right now doing the drive, taking on Chattanooga Central. You'll be able to catch that game on Cleveland's Oldies 99.1. And I want to point something out. Looking down here at the field, Walker Valley's team was just walking the field. And, just uniform. Everyone's just locked in. It's quiet. You could hear a pin drop. They got their headsets on there. They're locked in. They're getting ready. Saw your Boyd out here just showing off the 8-pack, shirt off, walking the field. This guy's ready to have another big game.
I look for Walker Valley to win this game fairly convincingly. I think Bradley's going to have their hands full. I know that their opponent, Farragut's 0-3, but don't let that record fool you. They've lost to 3 excellent football teams, and then Cleveland is going to really have their hands full against Maryville. So I think you guys are going to have a fun night out here calling Walker Valley. I think they win by 2-3 touchdowns.
I think the Bradley Farragut game is going to be the one that's going to be closest.
Yeah, I do too.
I watched some highlights of the Farragut Walker Valley scrimmage. Farragut, did a good job, had some pretty big boys up front, but my thing is going to be my thing for the rest of the season. Bradley has got the athletes. They've got the athletes to compete with anybody. And so if you had to ask me right now, I'm going Bears.
I am too, but I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Walker Valley. And I think Cleveland puts up a fight for a while, and then Maryville. I've been in a Cleveland jersey when playing Maryville, and they walk out with 105 dudes on that team. They're going to have the depth. They're going to be able to weather the storm.
You know what's so funny about Maryville? Their fans don't travel as good as you'd think they would. They really don't.
That environment when you play there is crazy, though.
Oh, yeah, but they don't travel, especially when it's all the way down here to southeast Tennessee.
All I'm going to say is I think Jacob and I are going to be able to maybe watch a good chunk of the second half of that game. That's how quick this game's going to be over. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Are you predicting a running clock in the fourth quarter?
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I think it's going to get ugly really quick up here tonight. With the way Walker Valley's offense is clicking, and Chattanooga Central scored 15 points this year. It's going to be tough.
Do we think Roman Yulo plays tonight?
I do. As a matter of fact,
is he playing the second half?
No. As a matter of fact, he's going to be dressed, ready to go pregame. Kind of a pregame decision for Roman Yulo. He was out here jogging the field a minute ago, so they're going to give him a look, give him a shot. But hey, time snuck up on us here as we're getting ready to send it over to Gary and RC for Bradley Central coverage right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I want to let Jim take us out. Last segment, Inside the SEC, sponsored by Southern Heritage Bank. We didn't get to do it yesterday, so we got to get it in there today, Jim.
All right, Inside the SEC, here are the 2025 NFL rosters by college, SEC version. Alabama has 62 players, Georgia 57, LSU 39, Texas 37, Oklahoma has 32, Florida has 31, Texas A&M has 27, Tennessee has 26, South Carolina 25, Auburn has 21, Ole Miss has 20 NFL players this year, Arkansas has 15, Mississippi State has 14, Kentucky and Missouri both had 13, and Vanderbilt has 7 players on NFL rosters.
Look for that number to go up, by the way. They're recruiting a little bit better over there at Vandy.
You'll see a little bit more Vandy presence in the NFL draft in coming years.
Yeah, throwing some money around up there in Nashville. Well, hey, you've been listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always fun to get out of the studio a little bit and make Jim run around and meet us up here.
Oh, I love it,
man. It's a good time. Hey, so, Mason, you got to go dogs in you before we go? You fired up? You ready?
Go Dogs, baby. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Excited for tomorrow.
Well, we went 2-1 there. Vols for Jim, Vols for me, Dogs for Mason.
The way that I look at it, I wore my jersey to school today. I'm either celebrating 8 good years in this rivalry today, or I'm extending it to 9. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Good stuff. You've been listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Have a great weekend, everybody.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Listen up, Cleveland. The wait is over. Josh Porter here with Optimize You, the region's #1 hormone replacement clinic. We specialize in both men and women's hormones and are so excited to finally be here in Cleveland, ready to serve you. Find us online at OptimizeYouCenters.com. That's OptimizeYouCenters.com.
Omaha, set, hut. This is John Davis, the trade-in man for Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway, announcing our year-end sales blitz. My team will do whatever it takes to win your business. Red zone prices and payments on every vehicle in our giant inventory. We're going to tackle every trade-in, even if you have months left or still owe thousands, and we're going to crush bad credit. Our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation, plus be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. The only deal that I can't beat is the one that I don't know about. Don't miss this year-end sales blitz. Make the winning drive and score the best deal of the year. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Negative trade equity may be refinanced subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
For the past quarter century, Mix 104.1 has been your home for UT Vols football. That's something to celebrate. Vol 25 is here. ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and USS are giving you a chance to win tickets to all of the Tennessee road games this season. Each Monday before a road game, you can register to win tickets to that Saturday's Vols game. Vol 25 is brought to you by USS. Visit USSTN.com/Chattanooga. For more information, check out our ESPN Cleveland 101.3 socials on Facebook and Instagram. Bradley Central High School Bears football is on the air. Bradley Bears football on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, where games are supplied to you all season by Wholesale Supply Group. And download the ESPN Cleveland 101.3 app at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Now it's time for the Cleveland Ford pregame. Let's head to the booth with Gary Owenby and RC Talent.
Welcome once again to high school football here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, where all of our games are supplied to you by the great friends at Wholesale Supply Group. Gary Owenby and RC Talent come to you high, and I say high, I mean high, from the press box here at Farragut High School here in Farragut, Tennessee, just on the west end of the Knoxville area, and look for a beautiful night of football. We have gorgeous weather. It's a little warmer than it has been the last couple of weeks. We got a great view of the Smoky Mountains across the way there. We're sitting here wishing we were there in the Smokies after the game.
Well, that's up to you. You're driving, so you just take us there.
Well, let's see. You call and reserve us a cabin, and yeah, we'll get there. But tonight, you know, Farragut, we've played them 22 times. Tough place to play, tough team to play.
Absolutely.
We are 4-18 against them overall. Out of 22 games, we've won only 4. 3 of those were here, 1 at home. We're 1-9 at home, and 3-9 here on the road. And it never fails. This time every year, I always talk to Damon. I had an interview this week. You'll hear his interview coming up here shortly. He says, I walk in here, I look at that corner of the end zone. My career ended there. He said, we were in the playoffs, I think it was second round, and we were tied after regulation. Went 7 overtimes, and we scored and kicked a PAT, and they scored and lined up to kick the PAT, but botched it, had to pick it up and run, and he ran in for the 2-pointer. Bears lose 7 overtime, 65-64.
That's a tough way to lose right there.
To end the season and end the career.
65-64?
Final score, 65-64.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a high-scoring game in Tennessee. 7 overtimes is not a record. I don't think that's a record even in Tennessee. But anyway, it was a great, crazy night. Probably 10,000 people say they were there to see it.
That's right.
They had a few hundred here maybe. But what a great night. What a setting here. You're listening to Cleveland Ford Friday Night Football here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Farragut off to a tough start, but you got to qualify that. They played 3 teams in the top 10 in the state, that being last year's defending 5A champion Sevier County in their opening game. They lost to Powell in the second game, and Powell lost by 1 point to Sevier County in the playoffs last year. And he lost to Upperman, who was in the 2 or 3 deep in the playoffs last year in 4A. And they went on the road, and Upperman manhandled him, 42-6, I believe, the final there. So they're 0-3 coming in. And we recall the Bears opened the season with a tough, frustrating loss to McMinn County with driving for a winning score. Had a pick there on the 1-yard line. Come back extremely strong against Walker Valley. Actually had them shut out 28-0 before they ever scored. And then last week we did get the shutout, 49-0 over Hardin Valley. And the Bears could not have played a whole lot better last week.
Yeah, they looked pretty solid against Hardin Valley last week. And, you know, they couldn't block our guys up front. I mean, I know we were talking and there's chatter about maybe this being the best line in the state, defensive line in the state. But this is a tricky game, and, you know, it's one that our guys have got to get up for. It's a district or a region game, and, you know, it's important. So we've got to come ready to play because these Admirals are going to come for sure.
Yeah, and if you lose a game, the team that you lose to is going to have to lose 2 games for you to be able to jump them.
Yeah.
So
it's important.
Yeah, it's extremely important. Damon emphasized that in the interview that you'll hear coming up shortly. Our weekly player interview this week with a couple of Bears was Kenyon Phelps and Anthony Perez, a linebacker and a running back, and saw Kenyon today at school. 2 weeks ago, when we played Walker, I stopped him in the hallway, and he said, I'm going to get 200 yards tonight, and he got 219.
There you go.
I said today, what are you going to do?
So he called his shot, right?
Yes. So what are you going to do for us tonight? He said, well, we'll see. So he's a great running back, and he's got a future in college football wherever he decides he wants to play.
Absolutely.
And I think we'll have about 6 Bears total that are signed, but it's just a